know,
I truly believe that. Yeah.
I'll give you an example for me so that you all understand where I'm coming from. When I got to the Royal Ballet School, I'm only 5'5".
Yeah.
When I got to the Royal Ballet School, there were all these tall guys who are going to be prince in this and that classical ballet. I knew I was never going to be a prince. I had to find a niche. So this is what, if your students out there listening, find your niche, find what you're good at and
Mm,
work at it.
mm.
Yes, you have to work at other things as well, but don't put so much pressure on if you haven't got brilliant turnout. You may not need brilliant turnout for your style of dance, and maybe not even do ballet. Maybe go into something different, but it's still dance. It's still bringing that love of movement, music or sound, whatever it is that you're going to move to. I love percussive music.
Really.
It doesn't have to be strings and bows. It could be percussion, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm still doing salsa now, and I won't say young son.
I
He's
love that.
50. He's 50.
Yeah.
He teaches salsa and merengue and all of that. So I love all that, and I'll
Fancy
do.
family.
And
Fancy family.
yes, it does. Yeah, my daughter. She's what's she now? She's 53.
Yeah.
She does Zumba classes and also does other sort of forms of that dance. None of them. My youngest son, who's 40 something, he's a lot
Mm.
younger. He does amateur amdrams. So for you outside of the UK, amdram stands for amateur dramatics. There's loads of different organisations. The talent in there is incredible. I've choreographed shows for amdrams here on the Isle of Wight.
Mm.
They are talented people, but they're a bit too scared to turn pro. But it's wonderful to see the
Yeah.
performances. They're not professional, but they're really good. There is the good side. So the book that I've written, it's now out for peer reviewing.
Yeah.
Did I send you one?
No, but
Oh,
I would love one.
yes.
Absolutely love
You could
one.
write a review for it as well.
I will. I will. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's to show that there is a gift in there.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I know what I was going for. And so at the Royal Ballet School, I knew that character work is going to be my niche.
Yeah.
And it's to work for all you dancers out there or parents to tell your dancing boys and girls
Mm.
that work on their uniqueness.
Yeah.
Yes, you do have to fall in line with things if you've got to take exams and auditions and things like that, but work on your uniqueness. Know
Mm.
what you're good at. And
Mm.
without bragging, because people won't say, oh, I'm good at this. I mean, I was good at pirouettes and double tours and leaps and jumps and all of that sort of. I had
Yeah.
great ballon. I would hold myself in the air before land. And it
Yeah.
got me the roles that I wanted. It got me to the point of being a soloist and doing principal roles in London's Festival Ballet. And that's the thing. And I'm not big-headed about it. I don't
Mm.
shout out about it then. I just did.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you do shows who you are,
Mm.
rather than hiding behind something and saying, "Oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that," because the brain says, "Oh, you can't do that." Okay, well, we'll prove to you that you can't do that.
Yeah.
The brain is a true. I'm throwing all these things in for you.
No, I love it.
The
I love it.
brain is a truth seeker. It
Mm.
seeks the truth to please the individual, even if it's detrimental to them. If
Yeah.
they say, I can't do more than 2 pirouettes, the brain goes, oh, okay, well, look, let's prove that you can't do more than 2 pirouettes. So every time something crops up and you fall off point or you can't do this or that, the brain says, wait, you're right, aren't you? You can't do it. And so
Mm.
that's all you're focusing on, what you
Yeah.
can't do, rather than focusing on what you can do and what you want to do. What
Mm.
does it feel like to do 3 pirouettes or 4 pirouettes? That's what you've got to work out. What does it feel like? And you can close your eyes and you can perform the motor imagery and you can not watch yourself. You're doing it yourself. You're doing the pirouettes and you're doing 4 pirouettes. Wow, isn't that? And build up the excitement. And you're generating something that the
Yeah.
brain and the body says, oh, actually, I can do this.
Mm. Yeah.
You will be stopping yourself. You get in your own way of yourself by the way that you think. And yes,
Really.
I know that people will say, oh, Isn't that the law of attraction? But science behind it now is showing that the law of attraction does work. If you think you're doing it and you're feeling that way, and I know that they talk about, if you want to be a millionaire, act like a millionaire, be a millionaire. What does a millionaire feel like? What do they wear? What car do they drive? And all those sort of things. But we're just talking about performance now.
Yeah.
If you want to do 4 pirouettes and you can't do perform, let me tell you, I went to Razzmatazz. I did a workshop at Razzmatazz.
Yeah.
In, I can't remember where. And I said, look, let's find out if people would like to try this thing with me, with this visualization. Is there anyone, and I use pirouettes as the example, is anyone having difficulty with pirouettes? So 3 of them picked it up. And so I was doing these with these 3. And one of them then burst into tears. And so I do the visualization and then get them to do a pirouettes. This was Razzmatazz, so no point shoes or anything like that. They did their pirouettes, and one of them burst into tears when they did the pirouettes. And I said, I'm curious to know why you're crying. Is everything all right? She said, oh, everything is wonderful. I've never been able to do pirouettes. It wasn't the fact that I could do.
Happy tears.
Yeah. And so it works.
Yeah.
It works. So everyone out there, just practice what you think you want to do.
Yeah, I really agree with that. I always feel like you should definitely play on your strengths. I think sometimes, obviously as a dancer, you need to also work on your not so good areas, and so it can balance that somewhat. But I think we can sometimes, well, I remember I definitely was more so the other way. So I'd look more at my limitations and I'd be like, right, so I need to sort of hammer out all these exercises over and over again until the next lesson. So I've done all my improvements, that kind of mentality that obviously everyone kind of probably relate to. But then I would kind of disregard my strengths. So it'd be like, yeah, not as confident with my strengths anymore because I've got how many limitations. So what you just said there makes total sense. And I think that's something else that I could have probably, or if anyone could relate to, done a lot more of. But then actually, yes, I can't do this and this, but I can do really well this and this. But that I didn't do, which is interesting. I kind of disregarded that. So
you have to have the ability to stand in front of a mirror and tell yourself what you're good at.
Yeah, I don't think I could have ever done that, if I'm honest.
Well, this is the same as many people. The majority of people in show business will not say what they're good at. And if you do that, you're not boasting because you're telling yourself, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. I know I need to work on this and that. And in fact, when you just said then, I used to do this over and over and over again. I mean, physically, that's very detrimental. And that's where motor imagery comes in.
Yeah.
Do it over and over again.
Yeah.
Between the intrinsic link of the body, the mind, the brain, and the emotions.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get the companies to do that in rehearsals. Do you remember that dreaded phrase? One more time, please.
Yes. Still haunts.
It's never once, is it? It's never once.
No. 6 times, maybe.
Yeah. So what they can do, they can play the music, and the dancers, whether they're the chorus or whether they're the soloists, they can just imagine them doing it to the best of their ability. That's the thing. It's the best of their. It's not perfect. It's the best of their ability. They can improve on that, but at the moment they do it to the best of their ability, with the feeling, the way the director, the choreographer, whoever wants it. And you only have to do it a few times because you've done it over and over again, seeing it. You obviously have to do that from scratch physically to get you understand what your body wants.
Yeah.
And for those, I can ask you this. When you were in class, when you were set an exercise to do, were you able to pick it up, and how did you pick it up?
I was able to pick it up, and I would have to do it visually.
Yeah, okay.
So I learned a lot more by, rather than counts and things like that, me watching someone and then mirroring exactly what they're doing was absolutely my way of learning. Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened when that other student or other dancer went wrong and you picked it up? You picked up the wrong choreography.
Picked up the wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, that's a good
there's the
point.
issue. So
Yeah.
teachers need to understand the three different. I'm sure they're taught this. The three different ways of learning. Can you tell me what they are?
The three different ways of learning. I don't know. I don't think I
Okay.
might. I don't think
You've mentioned two of them.
So visual. Sorry.
Auditory.
Auditory.
Kinesthetic. Kinesthetic is you doing it, physically doing it.
I will
Right.
also say that as well. That
Okay.
was my way
So
of
you've got
learning.
all three. You've got all three then.
Yeah.
Or
Triple threat, yeah.
more two than three. So you've got a teacher facing the mirror, who is not necessarily speaking loud. So the class or the rehearsal room has lost one of those three, and it's a crowded room, and especially if it's a cattle market audition. If it's a crowded room, you need the visual side of things.
Yeah.
Because you need to see what they're doing. You can't see that. So you have resorted to looking at someone else who can see and also can hear, but they're doing it wrong. But you don't know you're doing it wrong. And so,
that's funny because I definitely I would have done that in my past, 100%.
all right. So teachers need to be able to do all three, and especially for neurodiverse people. And that is part of in my book.
Yes.
It's getting teachers to understand that.
Yeah, and I did see that you did a sit-down talk at Move It about neurodivergent, and you had some of the current performing arts people who have neurodivergency and their limitations and things like that. And that was one of the topics that came up, wasn't it? About how different pupils in a class will learn differently, and they should be catered. All of them should be catered, if that makes sense.
That's
and
right.
I think that's a really good topic to start really putting out there into that industry and stuff like that, because of neurodivergency becoming more spoken about, and everyone's more aware of it and the effects. Because I also think for a very long time neurodivergency was kind of just seen as a hyperactive child that's sort of bouncing off the walls. Yeah, some ADHD.
Usually a boy.
Usually a boy.
Yeah. What about girls?
Yeah. So no evidence for that. Yeah.
Last year I worked on. So it was Manchester. Where was I? Manchester and Leeds, Birmingham, I think. Manchester, Leeds, and London. It was a contemporary dance production company.
Yeah.
Kaylee Price was leading it, and there were three of them. As Kaylee and two others. They're formulating this movement to take out to the general population, and it was women are neurodiverse too. That was that's two as in as well. GWO. And that was the title of their project, and they're taking that around. But we did 4 workshops, or was it 5? 4 workshops. 2 of them were in person and 2 online. Just the 4 of us.
Yeah.
And you may have seen some posts about that. They keep bringing out posts of what they've been doing. And this was all of October last year. And it was fascinating. All 3 of them are neurodiverse in different ways. So the 5 main neurodiverse categories are dyspraxia, dyslexia, dyscalculia, which is, so dyslexia is the words, dyscalculia is the numbers, and then ADHD, and then ASD, autism spectrum disorder. So those are the 5. There's underneath that is things like Tourette's, OCD, and all of those, but they're all different aspects of brain wiring.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are very positive in that.
Yeah, and I think that's...
And you found that out as well.
Yeah. No, but I think that's amazing to have a bit more kind of knowledge and people coming out and talking about it as a woman as well with ADHD. Because like you say, well, like we said before, it can show up very differently for every person. It's not like one size fits all with neurodivergency. So I think just a deeper understanding of both genders and how they can both kind of be picked up on, because I think for a woman, I think I'm starting to realize it's more common when I speak to people that are neurodivergent as well. It is bouncing off the walls, but in the mind, if that makes sense. So it's not like we're sort of hyperactive and we're here, there, and everywhere. I was personally never like that. Mine was more, I can't quite switch off. And it was, I've seen it quite a lot of the time, to be fair, but like 100 different tabs open. And it was trying to pick which one I should focus on at that point. Want to do all of them, and I want to do them all really well, which I think also perfectionism is huge. But where do I start? And it was like, which actually, funny enough, leads me on to something I was actually going to state that I saw that you put on your LinkedIn, which I really, really liked. And it was about the definition of a perfectionist. And I think this is that industry and also just anyone watching around this. And I think a lot of people, like you said here, see a perfectionist as someone that does everything perfect, but actually it's a deep rooted sort of paralysis of the fear of failure. So it's not necessarily you want to do everything perfectly in general, it's just more that deep rooted fear. So another question I have for you actually is, how do you, especially if you're quite a high overachiever, I think when you're a perfectionist, you always want to achieve to a certain level. If not, you kind of beat yourself up about it. How can you kind of like separate, let's say if you didn't achieve this particular situation, how can you not let that affect your self-worth? Because I think they're really linked. And I think self-worth is also, I believe, something everyone suffers with at any walk of life at some point, that they struggle with seeing their worth or their value, whether that be career or in personal. Yeah, so I'm just intrigued to see, because I really liked that way. It really flipped my interpretation of perfectionist as well. So yeah.
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Okay.
Oh, that is so difficult. It's like the grieving process. The last stage of the grieving process is acceptance. And I think this exactly the same with someone who is an overachiever, is accepting that you're not perfect.
Yeah.
You're as good as you are. And if, or for an audition point of view, perhaps, or a competition point of view, if you haven't been chosen, you haven't been placed, that's nothing to do with you. And this is the difficult thing about accepting, because auditions, competitions are all subjective to the people who make the decisions.
Yeah.
They have unconscious bias. If you look like or dance like someone they have disliked in the past or has been rude to them, they don't know they're doing it. Let me just do a simple story for you.
Yeah, please.
10-year-old Ishmael was going on stage and he was sort of jigging around like this, and an adult came up to him and who was in a red top and started to tell him, to calm down and, get ready for the performance, right? This, and he took it as being told off rather than being supportive. So roll on 8 years.
Yeah.
So he's 18 and his mate said, I've got this girl, a really nice girl, friend of my sister. You'd love to meet her. You know where this is going, don't you?
Yeah.
and so they put them together, and his mate went off, and about an hour later he came back, and the girl had gone. He said, well, what do you think? What do you think? He said, yeah, she's really nice, but there's something about her that I didn't like.
Okay.
She was wearing a red top.
Right.
And it's
Okay.
all worked on the unconscious from a trauma.
A trauma response, like a trigger.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And so this is what happens with choreographers, artistic directors, people who audition other dancers, or judges in competitions, or friends of parents.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that boy you're going out with.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Yeah.
And it all works on the unconscious. So it's got nothing to do with the individual. You have done what you were meant to do. It's just that someone else didn't think it was good enough. And it's not meaning that you're not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
think,
if you can start realizing that, then you will find life a lot easier. So I've done workshops with main ballet schools in the UK, and in fact Joffrey Ballet School as well in the States. I went there to
yeah.
do that, and I asked them what did they want to do. Where did they want to go? It's coming to the end of their graduation year. Oh, I want to get into the Royal Ballet. I want to get into the English. I said, well, what happens if you don't get in? Only 3 or 4 get in, and you've got what 12, 20 of you in this class, only 3 or 4 of you are going to get into the company. What happens? Oh, I'd be really disappointed. I said, well, what about setting your mind to thinking, I would really like to get into a good ballet company who like me and like my work, and I like their work, and I'll get paid well for it, and I will enjoy myself without mentioning a ballet company. So if you have that mindset, and that's called it's called a growth mindset. Right, I call it a flexible mindset because dancers have got flexible bodies, flexible minds.
Like that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so if you have this growth mindset, you're going to get a much easier life.
Yeah.
And I will tell you now a story about me, which is what I tell in the workshops that I do when people argue that point with me.
Okay, yeah.
I was very easygoing about the hundreds of auditions that I did or that I never got.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them you can look this up. I think it was in 1978. Yes, we're going back that far.
Okay.
A chorus line came to London for the first time. So they just opened in Broadway, they ran a bit, and then so they were auditioning. And the auditions ran a couple of months. And the auditions were based on the show. So you would like the show, you showed your photograph, you did a time step, and you did a double pirouette.
Okay.
And and then after that cattle market with hundreds of them, then you get through to the next round. A load of them drifted, and by the end of the 2 months, all of us were probably 2 casts of it. So some of them will have the name parts, and others would be in the audition but be swing dancers for that. And we knew the show.
Yeah.
We knew all the songs. We knew all of the. This is part of the audition. We knew all the parts, the harmonies that you're doing, and all the dance routines. And each time we never had mobile phones in those days. Each time the production company would phone up and say, "We're going to be doing singing on Thursday." So we go in and we do our singing, and then for the following week we're going to be doing dancing. We come in and do the dancing. We're going to be doing lines, and we come in and do the lines. And Michael Bennett was the originator of it, came over, and they phoned up and said, "You will be doing singing." There's 2 things I learnt at this audition.
Yeah.
Now, the fashion in those days was skin-tight jeans that flared out into great wide things.
Yeah.
Heels like that, soles like that. So great clob-upping boots and tight jeans you could hardly move in.
That's coming back around, I think.
Yes, well, that's how many years ago was that? 1978?
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year I would have been in show business in different things for 70 years.
Wow.
Because I started dancing when I was either 5 or 6.
Cool life. Very cool life.
Yes. So, Terry Hyde comes on stage. We want you to do the opening number. Da, 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 da. I said, I thought I was just doing singing. No, we want you to do the dancing. So the first thing I learnt, take your dance gear with you, whatever you're doing. For you out there,
Yeah.
students, take your dance gear with you, even though they say it's a singing audition.
Oh, God.
Anyway, I was rubbish doing that. And Michael Bennett said, this is in the darkness. You know, like in the film,
Yeah.
the darkness out there, you can't see. And the voice came out, thank you. And the assistant choreographer who'd been working with us for 2 months went like that to me. And I just walked off stage. There was the rest of the cast in the wings. Did he say thank you? Is that it? I said, well, obviously so. And I walked over to my agent who was in Soho, because this was all done at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane, where I just spent 2.5 years performing in Billy with Michael Crawford. Not Billy Liar, Billy Liar, not Billy Thingy that you know now. And he said, oh, so they don't want you? No. So he said, oh, look, this was Thursday. He said, would you go over to Italy on Saturday? There's 6 weeks working with Raffaella Carrà. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll do that. So I went off and did that. And the Monday of the first week of the show that I was doing in Italy, my then wife phoned my agent then phoned me in Italy and said, Chorus Line wants you back. Michael Bennett's gone and they want you back.
Oh, great.
Great, yes. So I said, well, look, I got a 6-week contract here, and I know that in 7 weeks' time, the first night of a Chorus Line goes on. And I said, I know it through and through. I just need that week to sort of catch up and get back the energy, because obviously you're dancing different styles. You're going to lose that. Yeah. And I said, tell them that I can do it when I come back. And they phoned up and said, no, we want you now. And I couldn't do it. So 2 things. I really, really wanted to do a chorus line. And I think most dancers in the UK wanted to do a chorus line.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably.
So the thing is not to have your hopes high. And the other thing is, why didn't I get it? It wasn't the fact, I don't think, that I didn't take my dancing gear. I think the fact was, thank you, universe. Apparently, that person that I mentioned before was a right so-and-so to work for. Really abusive, really awful, over the top.
There you go.
He was the perfectionist, and anyone that wasn't really had a go. He had a go at them. And so I thank the universe. So if you don't get just think of a broader reason why you didn't get it. Are you saved from an abusive director choreographer, or was that not really a very good tour, or whatever you're auditioning for? It's got really nothing to do with you. Maybe your ability isn't up to the standard, and you can actually see, oh, actually I can't do this, and so you're the first to go out, but realize that I need to work on this. So at the moment I'm not ready for it, but I just had this frame of mind. I just go out and do it. And I did the auditions, and I got most of the things that I did work-wise, whether it was one day filming or whether it was an advert. For those, I don't think anyone out there is old enough, but I did 4 years of Jelly Tots ads. I was the jelly boy in it. Your parents would have seen it.
I think I made Jelly Tots the sweets. Don't worry.
Yeah, Jelly Tots the sweets. That's right. I was the jelly boy in it. So your grandparents would have seen it.
Oh, wow.
That far ago.
Well, I'll have to ask.
It was, well, you can look it up. You couldn't see our faces. We had costumes on.
Oh, still cool though.
So it would have been in the sort of something like 73, 74, 75, 76, something like that. Those 4 adverts. I've looked it up, and there's only 2 adverts on YouTube.
Oh, okay. There you go. I didn't know that. That is
claim
really
to
cool.
claim to fame.
It's just,
apart from those Italian people who are watching Raffaella Carrà, there they go. Oh
there you
wow,
go.
you worked with her, did you? Oh,
Yeah. I think, yeah, there's several claims to fame to you, Terry, I think, to be fair.